I'd like to call the meeting to order and welcome everybody to the June 29th, 2021 Planning Commission meeting at 6 p.m. We do have a quorum. Our first item of business is approval or disapproval of the May 25th, 2021 regular meeting minutes. We'll entertain motion. We have a motion to approve from Mayor Cole. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Alderman Coates. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Items number 1 and number 2 have been deferred. We'll be moving on to item number 3. Final plat, Pinnacle Point, Section 5, 23 lots on 11.79 acres requested by Huddleston Steele. Property located at Sparrow Gap Drive, tax map 32, parcel 24, R1 Low Density Residential Zoning District. Property owned by Deluxe Homes LLC. Mr. Logan.
Thank you. This is the final plat approval for Pinnacle Point Phase 5. And this property is zoned R1. And you can see there on the imagery, it touches the Rock Springs Elementary School on the west side, and also touches Lake Road on the north side. And zooming in there, you can see a better view of the property. It's somewhat forested right now. Small trees anyway, not large trees, but this is 11.79 acres, and they're proposing a total of 23 lots on this Section 5. And taking a look here, there's a zoning map, so all of the orange is R1, low density residential. And here's some photos of the property. See the sidewalk that was put in earlier, and that'll be extended. And then some of the equipment that's been out there this spring and some are working. The plat shows the configuration of the streets and the lot. So one main street will run north to south through this phase, and there is a cul-de-sac right off of Lake Road. There'll be a cul-de-sac with 7 lots, and then a stub out at the southern end of the property, which is on the left there in the image. And there were very few planning comments at the workshop, and those have been taken care of. And then Mr. Leach had some engineering comments, so I'll let him speak to those. Thanks.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Leach, if you would, sir.
So all drainage for this phase is indicated as going to the existing pond in Phase 1 of Pinnacle Point. Most of you have been on, especially the elected officials who've been on the board, recognize that this pond has been a subject of debate, as well as our attorney and also Kyle, the assistant city administrator, have dealt with it for long time. There is concern amongst staff that without dredging the pond and ensuring that it was built to the design plan that was included for Phase 1, that it will not function as intended. So there's, in the construction plans, there's nothing saying one way or another whether that would be done, nor is there any indication that it would be done on the plat. So there is a concern from staff that if this was to progress, we would exacerbate an existing problem. Beyond that, there's a few minor corrections on the construction plans that need to be done, but that is really the only engineering concern.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Is there a representative here for this project this evening? State your name and address for the record, sir.
Good evening. Good evening, Scott Butler, one of the owners of owner of Deluxe Homes. Yes, we can request to defer that until we have the engineers do a better study on the detention pond. If you guys would like that done.
See if we can get some answers on that.
Yes,
and
yeah.
rectify the situation.
Yeah.
So, requesting deferral, sir?
Yes, deferral.
We will defer this item for you this month. See you next month,
All
sir.
right, thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir. Next item, item number 4. Final plat, Southern Tire Mart, combination plat of Lot 3 and Lot 4 on 6.1 acres requested by Fisher Arnold. Property located at 511 New Paul Road, tax map 17, parcels 38.02 and 40. I-2 Heavy Industrial Zoning District, property owned by James W. Cameron III, trustee. Mr. Logan.
Thank you. This is the final plat for Southern Tire Mart, and the site plan will be on the agenda next. This is a combination plat that will join 2 lots together, and the total acreage is 6.1 acres. And you can see there on the screen, I apologize, the batteries must be dead in this, my laser pointer. So it's in about the center of that image there, the property that we're talking about tonight. So that formerly was Olympia Coach property, and they sold to Southern Tire Mart. And so they're using the existing building that was there, which you can see here in the imagery. And then they're also utilizing the space to the rear, and they're also doing an addition to this existing building. And the overall layout, when complete, will be 54,000 square feet. And again, at the workshop, they didn't have many comments. They did need to get their architectural elevations submitted, and they've done that. And I also have a materials board that's up there at the podium. So that's been taken care of. There is, thank you, sir. Let's go back here to the zoning map. So this dark blue color is I-2, which is heavy industrial zoning. So they're surrounded by I-2, and the only color there that's not industrial is this green, which is, I believe that's Cedar Ridge Apartments is the name of that. So here's some photos of the property. And you can see they've had a temporary sign on the building, basically a banner in the photo. There is a sidewalk existing for a large part of the property, and then they will be extending the sidewalk on to the south and east. Let's see another photo there with the building. And we'll get to the plat here. So this is the latest plat that was submitted by Fisher Arnold that shows the combination plat. There's not many comments here on this plat, just some engineering notes from Mr. Leach. And that concludes the report. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Leach, sir?
Mr. Chairman, those notes were, I thought they had been erased, so they have been addressed.
Very good, sir. Do we have any questions or comments from the board?
No, with everything been addressed and the staff been happy, I'll make a motion to accept as submitted.
We have a motion to accept as submitted. Do we have a second?
Our second.
We have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Item number 5, site plan, Southern Tire Mart, new building of 27,580 square feet on 6.1 acres, requested by Fisher Arnold. Property located at 511 New Paul Road, tax map 17, parcel 38.02. I-2 Heavy Industrial Zoning District, property owned by James W. Cameron III, trustee. Mr. Logan.
So jumping into this site plan request for approval, this is the Southern Tower building that does consist of basically 2 projects. One is to expand the existing building, and that expansion is 12,218 square feet. So that's 12,000, and then they're proposing a second building to the rear of the existing, and that building would be 27,580. So here's, again, some photos. Property, you can see the existing sidewalk and where it ends. So the applicant will pick up there and extend the sidewalk further down New Paul. And in the front of the building and the fire hydrant. So then this is the existing, or the updated site plan of the existing building and then the new building. So this rectangular area is the existing building that's out there today. And then this is the 12,000 and some odd square foot addition. And then this is the 27,580 square foot freestanding building that's new, and that's the L shape. Let's see, they do, as I said earlier, they needed to submit some things to comply with the South Waldron Overlay District, and they have done that, which includes the color elevations and the architectural materials board. And again, those are up there at the podium. They are providing 63 total car parks where 48 are required, so they do have enough parking. And move on here to the architectural elevation. So these are what have been submitted for the building. And you can see the front of the building is at the very top. And then as you go around the building, each elevation is shown. And these bays, the service bays face south and east, or they basically face Smyrna, if you will. And so that's what this elevation is here. And then they also provided some perspective drawings, some computer-aided perspective drawings. And there's more elevations there of the existing building. And then more perspectives. And then this is a rendering, color rendering that they have provided that would show the building and the site after the improvements are made. And I think that's also on the board at the podium, if you'd like to take a different look at it. And then these were submitted right before the workshop, and the purpose was to show the iron gate. So this is obviously from further out in the street, and then as you zoom in, you can see what the applicant is proposing for the iron gate and fencing that would be in between these two buildings. And they did that also to help the request of the Planning Commission to help them in their request for the fencing. So that's been added. There's no planning comments remaining, and it appears there's one comment from engineering. So,
Thank you, sir. Mr. Leach?
Mine's really just a point of information that due to changing the sewer layout, it may be required to submit sewer plans to TDEC prior to construction, but that's just a note. It's not an actual comment.
Very good, sir. Questions or comments from the board?
I have one from the workshop. I made a note about the size of the sign. Did we validate that that's in compliance?
yes, sir, that, the sign theirs would be in compliance.
Because they're showing 138 square feet is what it's showing as well, my calculation. So make sure we're correct with that.
I can ask Missy if perhaps Olympia, I don't know if Olympia went to Boza and got the 138, and maybe they are refacing the sign that Olympia was approved for. I can ask Missy and check with her.
We have to propose if it's not correct, that's okay.
Okay, very good. Any other questions or comments?
Can we see the materials board?
Yes, sir.
We can have a representative.
Do you have a representative here? If you state your name and address, please, and Mayor Cole would like to see the materials board on this project.
348 Normandy Circle, Nashville, Tennessee.
That's the rendering. There's our materials board.
Okay. Same one we saw before. Okay.
Sir.
Just making sure nothing's changed.
Yes, sir. Very good. Any other questions or comments? Entertain a motion if there's no other comments.
I'll make a motion to accept as submitted.
I have a motion to accept as submitted by Alderman Coates. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Mr. Lee. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
On to our next item. Items number 6 and 7 have both been deferred, so we'll be moving on to item number 8. Site plan, Sand Hill Village Lot 1, 3 live-work units totaling 3,600 square feet on 0.49 acres, requested by Womble and Associates, property located at 100 Cash Court, tax map 14K, Group A, Parcel 1, PDR Planned Density Residential Zoning District with an R1 base, property owned by Abnon Streetman. Mr. Logan.
So this is the site plan approval for Sand Hill Village Lot 1, and this lot is right at 1/2 of an acre, and it's currently the corner of Cash Court and Sand Hill Road, so it's the corner lot here. And this is the existing Dollar General store that's just off to the east. And then, of course, there's a new building that is finishing up construction and probably will open very soon, which is here on the other corner, and that's a retail building as well. So then the next corner is this lot 1 of Sand Hill Village. So they're proposing to have 3 live-work units that would total 3,600 square feet. And again, you see the zoning here, so this small rectangular area at the corner of Cash and Sand Hill. And it is currently zoned PDR, which is Planned Density Residential, and it has an R1 base. So that would have been, that rezoning was probably done around 2016 or early 2017 is when that project came through. As you know, if you've been out there, the homes have built around this street here, around Cash Court. Several single-family dwellings have been built, and those are new houses. So here, the purpose of the plan is to present these live-work units. They plan to have the workspace in the downstairs, and then the second story above the work area would be the dwelling units. And here's a photo of the corner, and you can see the homes that I just mentioned as you go down Cash Court. So this is the plan that was submitted, and you can see there's parking in both the front and the rear of the building, and there's also a dumpster pad, and the proposed dumpster enclosure are shown on the plan in the rear of the building. And there's a ADA space, of course, in the front. And then this just is a closer view of this proposed project. And at this point, as far as exterior materials, this site does not lie in an overlay district, so I don't know if that PDR, when it was passed, if it made mention of this exterior for these buildings or not. But anyway, so this is what is being proposed by the applicant, and right now there's not any comments from engineering or planning on this project. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Do we have any questions or comments from the board,
I just had one question
staff, or applicant?
for applicant.
We have someone here for this project. Please state your name and address for the record, sir.
Danny Womble, 40 Middleton Street, Nashville, Tennessee.
Thank you, sir.
My question is just with regards to the living units. Are they going to be for sale or are they going to be rental property?
It's our thoughts that they're going to be for sale. And what we have to do in order to be able to sell them is set up a horizontal property regime documents that would create a somewhat of a private element for the commercial spaces so that they could be sold either to someone who buys a residential unit above it or to someone different. And then the residential units above will be recorded as condo units so that they can be sold because they won't actually have dirt under them because they'll have the commercial space below them.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Any other questions or comments?
One quick question for staff. There were 7 engineering and design comments. Have they all been addressed?
They have been.
With that, I'll make a motion to accept as submitted.
We have a motion to accept as submitted. Do we have a second?
Our second.
We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. On to our next item. Item number 9, site plan, Homewood Estates, Lot 17, Section 1, new building of 4,000 square feet on .46 acres requested by Huddleston Steele. Property located at 115 Cheerful Place, tax map 17J, Group A, parcel 14. I-2 Heavy Industrial Zoning District, property owned by BGS America LLC. Mr. Logan.
This is a request for site plan approval at Lot 17, Section 1 of Homewood Estates. And this is located at the corner of Cheerful Place and Longview Drive. It's actually addressed as 115 Cheerful Place. So in this photo, it's right where I'm pointing. It is a vacant lot, mostly vacant. It does have a few older structures in the rear that we've got pictures of in just a minute. But so you may remember the next door neighbor of this project developed in 2018. It went to the Planning Commission, I believe, in January or February of 18. And so they built beside them with actually a Morton-style building, if you may remember that. So this is the next lot down, corner of Longview and Cheerful. And there's a closer view of it. You can see the roofs here of the older buildings or structures. And applicants indicated that those would be demolished and to make room for this new building. And you can see the zoning there. This entire side of Cheerful, which would be the east side of Cheerful, is zoned I-2, heavy industrial, and then that zoning wraps around and goes up Longview. And then there's C2 across the street, which is the red color, which is commercial zoning. This is a photo taken from Cheerful Place, and you can see it's a flat lot, mostly vacant, and these buildings in the rear, again, would be demolished. And so going around corner to Longview, it's another angle. You can see the project I mentioned back in early 18, the next door neighbor to the north. And this is a site plan that's been submitted by the applicant. So you can see that the parking area comes off of Cheerful, and then the building sits back on the lot. Again, it is 4,000 square feet is what it's proposed to be. And then there is a detention area or a rain garden that takes up this section near the corner of the lot and runs along Longview Drive, and then landscaping, of course, is shown as required. And they are proposing, of course, with the building, the necessary driveways and additions of parking, and they're providing 10 spaces for parking where 3 are required. And this lot is .46 acres, so just under half an acre. And one item that would need to be decided tonight with the site plan is the sidewalk issue. So I think the applicant's requesting fee in lieu at this point, so that would need to be discussed. That's the only item remaining on this project. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Questions or comments from the board? On myself. How do we feel about the sidewalks? Are there any sidewalks on this street?
There are not.
None at all?
Fee in lieu is granted to the building immediately adjacent to it when it came through in 18, if I recall correctly. Not much hope of connecting the sidewalk for a long time. Plus, it has a open drainage or rural drainage ditch section, so any sidewalk would have to be installed on the back side of the ditch, which is less than ideal.
There you go.
I will note, and you can note in your plan set, that they do have a blank, I believe it's item number 10 or 8 for the fee in lieu. As calculated on your report, that is for the 100 feet of frontage that is on Cheerful Place. You can, at the board's discretion, also require it on Longview for the side frontage. That's an additional 200 feet, so it's either, $6,000 or $18,000. That's at the board's discretion.
Very good. I will open discussion in regards to the fee in lieu.
With no other sidewalks in that area and where it is, I don't have a concern. I think the fee in lieu, the money would better spent elsewhere within the city with my comments. I do appreciate the applicant adding the additional driveway to the back. That makes more sense to me and it looks good.
And the Longview,
I'm going to echo what Alderman Graham has said, that, the improvements to the plan are greatly appreciated. There's also landscaping additions that have been made, and those are very, very nice. With the applicant working so well with the city, I would probably suggest that we be in support of the $6,000 fee in lieu of amount, and just calculate based on Cheerful Place. So that would be my suggestion, looking for some comment from other board members before we make a formal motion.
thank you, sir. Mr. Lee?
I was going to echo some of the same comments, typically due to the other entrance and everything, how they've worked with us. I agree with the in lieu of and the 6,000.
Okay. Mayor? Sanders?
I agree that the applicant has worked. I know most people have commented on the other driveway. For me, it's the additional trees that have been placed along the backside with basically to the adjoining property. So I'll go ahead and make the motion that we accept as submitted with a $6,000 fee in lieu for the sidewalks.
I'll second that motion.
Very good. Mr. Richardson, did you get that?
Yes.
Okay, so we have a motion to accept as submitted with the 6,000 fee in lieu and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, everyone. Next item. Item number 10, site plan, Ritter Properties, Lot 14. New building on 4,000 square feet on .33 acres requested by Huddleston Steele. Property located at 102 LaSalle Court, tax map 14J, Group D, parcel 14, I-1, Light Industrial Zoning District, property owned by DNA Partnership. Mr. Logan.
Thank you. This is approval for site plan of Lot 14 at the Ritter Properties located on LaSalle Court. This lot is addressed 102 LaSalle, and you can see in the overview picture here, so LaSalle runs off of Sand Hill, and then this is Dick Buchanan Drive that runs south back to Murfreesboro Road, and Sand Hill's east and west, and then this is Holland Ridge, Hollandale, get them confused, that runs north out of the four-way stop. So this lot actually has double frontage, so it's a bit unusual. And you can see there's 2 lots remaining that don't have a building. This is the one to the north that has the, has the gravel spread over most of it. And the zoning map shown there, the light color is I-1, which is light industrial. And all of LaSalle Court is the same zoning, which is I-1. So there's no I-2 in this area. Here's a photo of the lot with the gravel existing today. And you can see in the distance is the other frontage. And here's a view toward the four-way stop with Dick Buchanan Street. And so there's the stop sign here. So basically a flat lot and no trees existing today. And they are proposing a 4,000 square foot building as well to meet or to be built similar to the other buildings that you can see there on LaSalle. And there's been several over the past 5 to 10 years. So this will be built in similar fashion, and the site plan is very similar to the ones that we've seen before. So the parking and a driveway there comes off of LaSalle, and there's not much parking that's required, but they do meet the city's parking requirements. And then there's landscaping and shrubs along LaSalle, and then there is an area of tar and chip, which is a dustless surface, and that's proposed beside each side of the building, and that was also done on the neighboring buildings. This lot's 0.33, so it's 1/3 of an acre, and I already mentioned that it's vacant. So I don't see any comments, so this completes the report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Do we have any questions or comments from the board?
Mr. Chairman,
Oh, please, Mr. Leach.
just as a note, this is another fee and lieu lot. The fee and lieu is added is, once again, it's either note 8 or 10 because these two plans are very similar. It is calculated at $5,750. It's already there. We've granted fee and, we being y'all, Planning Commission is granting it fee and lieu on every other lot in this industrial subdivision. So just as a note.
Thank you very much, sir. And with that, any other questions or comments?
I'd just say that the fee in lieu with this makes perfect sense, considering we can take that money and apply that to whether it's residential areas that don't already have it, or partner that with different grants that we're getting, such as the Murfreesboro Road grant. So with that, I'll make a motion to accept as submitted.
We have a motion to accept. We have a second.
Second.
Discussion. Just to clarify, it was just stated $5,750. I think it's $5,765, just to make sure it's written correctly there. And the other thing is that there is existing chain link fence on adjacent properties. And while fencing is not necessarily noted here, I imagine it may be part of this construction. I have been a proponent of improving fencing, but because of the adjacent fencing that's in place and the reasonableness of matching what's immediately adjacent on all the surrounding properties, I just don't want it to go unsaid that we are interested in our industrial sites having improved aesthetics when it comes to fencing. And as folks consider coming before this board, I certainly want to raise that, albeit not exactly applicable in this sense.
Very well understood, sir. So with that, we have a motion to approve as submitted and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much, everyone. Our next item. Item number 10. I'm sorry, item number 11. Got behind myself. Set bond amount for Celebration Run subdivision, tax map 17C, parcels 31 and 32, requested by Catalyst Design Group. 28 proposed lots on 14.58 acres, R1 low-density residential zoning district. Mr. Logan.
This is a request to set the bond amount for Celebration Run Subdivision. And this project is off of Cherokee Drive, and you can see here in the imagery the location. And just as a reminder, I had a conversation with the Todd Schroeder, the GIS department, and he mentioned that the imagery has not been updated since would be March of 2020. So, of course, if you've been out there, and I mentioned this 2 weeks ago, you know that it doesn't look like this anymore. There's roads and asphalt running everywhere. So, I think I've got a photo here. It looks like that. So, just didn't want you to think that anybody was asleep at the wheel. We know that the imagery is old, so it doesn't look like this photo. So as soon as we can get that updated, we'll start using the newer imagery. The zoning is R1, which is low-density residential. It's the orange color there on the screen. So there's a fairly large area of R1 that's up and down Cherokee and the neighboring streets. And this is a proposal for 28 lots on 14.5 acres. And the developer, per the subregs, has submitted 3 construction bids, plus an average of those and the required 20% contingency. And a stamped estimate as well. Bids were from C&W Paving, J.R. Smith Construction, and Hawkins Asphalt Paving. And the engineer's estimate comes to $122,847.31. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Any questions or comments from the board?
Make a motion to accept the bid of the 122,847.31.
Our second.
We have a motion to accept the stated amount and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. And we'll move on to our next item, which will be bonds and letters of credit update. Mr. Leach.
So the Ridge Phase 3 is working on their renewal right now, so that date's been updated accordingly. You will see that Minerva Village has been added to the list. They've submitted their cashier's bond and the plat's been signed, so they'll start building homes out there probably relatively soon. Portico Place is still trying to get their act together essentially. So once they come to terms with themselves, we'll probably see a bond for that added to that as well. Just sitting on it currently since I can't sign their plat. Other than that, no significant changes.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Leach. And we have one unofficial item agenda, item number 13. Mayor Cole would want to recognize Mr. Lance Lee for his service to the city.
Lance, I know you've served on this board for several years now, and so I wanted to take the time to thank you on behalf of the city for coming here, bringing your expertise, your knowledge, your professionalism to this board, and helping us move in a better direction for the whole city. And so we appreciate everything you've done, and we definitely don't want to lose track of you while you're getting busy with work, but we want to wish you the best. And thank you again.
Thank you, Mary, and I think I've expressed my appreciation to all of you at the workshop. Thank you, Mayor, all the commissioners and the staff. It's been a wonderful relationship, and I appreciate the opportunity, and I'll continue working, as you know, on the city's behalf in other areas. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. It's been a wonderful pleasure, not only getting to know, but working with you. And with that, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.